Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I'm Adrian, and this is another edition of Real Talk. So guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We're back in the studio.
The COVID studio.
Our COVID studio.
I like to call it my COVID den. Thank you very much.
Rob, how have you been since the last time we've met? Hey, you know what? This is pretty frequent for us. We made it less than a month of shooting.
This is well, actually, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it is frequent for us. I was like, this is kind of not the norm of what we usually do, but
it's the new norm.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep this weekly thing going.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But back to your question, Adrian. I've been good. How have you guys been? Good.
Doing good. Just getting ready for Thanksgiving. It's 2 days away. Well, depending, I don't know when we post this.
You know what?
We'll pretend this is Thanksgiving. How about that? We'll say this is the Thanksgiving
episode.
Edition. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I still don't even know what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving. I know I'm going to be here with my parents, but I don't even know if I'm planning on doing anything. I might just, that's it, stay home, probably watch the games. That's it.
Lucky you.
Is your team playing?
Yes, my team is playing.
Who are they playing?
The Ravens.
Oh, you guys are going to lose. So.
Yeah, probably.
My team won. They beat the Buccaneers. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he's riding high on his, what's your record now?
7-3. Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, it's not as good as 10-0, but I mean.
I'm
Rob,
a Cowboy fan, so I'm just going to stay quiet.
Well, isn't your dad's a Ram fan or no?
My dad's my dad's a Raider fan.
Oh, he's a Raider fan.
Yeah, he's a Raider fan.
Of course, like every other.
Yeah, he's old. He's an old school Raider fan.
LA, there's
so it's basically Raiders, Dodgers, and Lakers. Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep,
okay, for those of you that are watching at home and are not familiar with the way LA sports kind of works, in terms of football hierarchy, it would probably go Raiders, USC, Rams, and then I don't know, probably UCLA football.
Yeah.
And the Chargers, but they barely even count. I mean,
yeah.
I honestly don't know any Charger fans really. I think I maybe know like one person that's
I think I only met like one person who's a Charger fan too,
which is so baffling to me is like so why they moved to LA when they have
their
like
huge
zero
fan base in San
here, you know, but
yeah.
But anyway, so Raiders kind of run the football LA market. But anyway, so we got some stuff to talk about. I mean, we're trying to just
a couple things.
Let's just start off with the Wonder Woman, the big announcement that got leaked on YouTube. I think, Daniel, you're the one who texted us. You're like, hey, the Wonder Woman trailer got leaked. And
yeah, they leaked it and they removed it and then they reposted it again. So it's like
whoever runs the YouTube page is in trouble.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say here's the thing with those leaked. Sometimes I'm like iffy if they're actually leaked. I think sometimes maybe they're like
sometimes they're on purpose.
Yeah. So let's put this out and then see what people think, and then if they're angry, we'd say, oh no, it's a mistake. But if they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, then we'll be like, all right, yeah, it's true. This is what's gonna happen.
We were planning all along.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, that's cool. I don't.
So I mean, Rob, like, yeah, what's your thoughts on it? Like, as far as like the dual release, because it says theaters, but then also HBO Max on Christmas Day.
I'm okay with that because again, this is kind of gonna be like you're gonna hear a lot of people say it's 2020. I'm sure that Warner Brothers they're looking down the line and stuff doesn't look like it's opening up. As a matter of fact, they're talking about stuff closing down again. So, and it's still relatively like about a month away. So things could change, but at least they're giving people the opportunity to watch this movie because this is Wonder Woman. 1984 was a movie that that a lot of people were looking forward to, especially after the success of the first Wonder Woman.
Yeah, do you remember when the original release date was? I want to say it was
I believe
May, maybe.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in May. It was supposed to be around like when, like, I think like within a month or so, like when Black Widow was supposed to come out. I think like they were relatively not close, but I think like within a month and a half of each other. So
it was like really.
And then
I think it was early then, and then they moved it to back. Like November, I think it was like, and then they moved it back to Christmas. But then they kept the date, but then I guess they're releasing it on the HBO Max and theaters as well.
Well, see, so, I'm okay with that because you have people who, like here in California, or especially specifically in LA, there's not a lot of theaters that are open. So it's like, how are all these people in these states are going to be able to see it? Well,
yeah, I mean, and then right now, I mean, there's like no theaters open because the governor, anyway, the governor he decided, we're gonna shut down, even though he goes to like parties and stuff in fanciest restaurants in California. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, or is it? But he basically shut everything down again, moved everything back into the purple tier, which is like the highest tier for COVID, and now anything that was indoors kind of has to move back outdoors, and so that basically means a lot of the theaters have to pretty much shut down again, and that really kind of sucks for the theater industry. For the ones that were specifically open, and now closest to where we are, Orange County, they were open, the theaters were open, and I was planning on going to watch a couple of features. I was planning on going to watch the new Fincher film, Mank. Is based on the Herman Mankiewicz who wrote Citizen Kane and the making of that film, and I was really looking forward to seeing that one. That was going to be coming out a couple weeks before it releases on Netflix, and then and then also Wonder Woman when that was coming out, but now can't even do that. So yeah, I mean, it's going to suck for people that really enjoy the theater experience, but at the same time, on the other side of it, I understand that that's not a priority for a lot of people. A lot of people do like to just stay at home, and they're kind of cool with their their 65-inch OLED TV, and and their surround sound like Rob has, and
some people are cool with their 720p 32-inch Vizio TVs. So.
Why do you hate on my TV?
It sucks.
Dang, I told you I can't afford it. Malibu's Most Wanted reference.
Hey, Adrian, what kind of phone do you have, Adrian?
Actually upgraded, dude.
I upgraded. I have Apple. I just got it, an Apple 12 Pro Max. So
well, I mean that's pretty good display. You can watch it on your
but
phone.
My previous phone before I got this one, they were like, no, you can't even trade that in. Just keep it.
That's pretty bad. They take everything. Yeah. If they're not going to take your phone, then that's pretty old.
You know what? I like to run things into the ground till they die. Call me cheap. I don't care. But that's just me.
So Adrian will be watching Wonder Woman 1984 on his cheap TV.
No, I mean my phone probably not probably, it does have better picture quality than my TV. Yeah. So maybe I'll just watch it on the phone. But yeah, I think for some people their priority is staying at home and watching it. This might be a good thing for them because then well, I would say like they can get around with the family, but I mean, for those that are comfortable having their family over, and hey, well, let's put on the new Wonder Woman, and I think that's a great release date, Christmas Day, and it'll probably drop like midnight, Christmas Eve. So, and I know a lot of families, especially here in LA, like to celebrate both Christmas Eve and New Year's or Christmas Day. So, I'm pretty sure a lot will be like staying up watching it. I know I probably will, staying up late watching it, and because I'm going to be up anyway. So, I don't know. How do you feel about it, Daniel? What are your thoughts on all of it?
The thing that actually caught my attention was that they're, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're not charging extra, right? You just need an HBO
and they specified that in the trailer at no extra cost to subscribers.
Taking a shot at Disney right there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like it caught me by surprise. and it made me curious. I was like, okay, I wonder how much HBO had to throw down to get the license for that, because I'm pretty sure they had to dish out some money
For what?
to have it available on HBO Max, right? I mean,
Well, they already are basically kind of like
in a
owned
deal
by,
already?
Warner Brothers. So they're
HBO. Oh, really?
So it's yeah, HBO Max is basically like the Warner Brothers streaming channel. So they have like all. That's why they have all the DC content.
Okay.
That's why they have all of the other stuff. That's why they have Friends, because Friends is a Warner Brothers property.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's pretty much why. So they didn't probably have to throw down
Oh, okay, never mind.
anything.
Well,
They're taking a loss.
scratch
Either
that.
way, it's going to cost them money either way.
Yeah,
But
forget what I just said. But but even still, then like I'm surprised they didn't like charge like at least like a small fee or just anything. I mean, even if it
well,
was,
I
like,
think that
$15,
they're banking on, because if you followed the release of, they kind of botched the release a little bit because they didn't get the numbers that they were looking for with
What do
the
you mean?
HBO Max release. So the numbers are actually really low.
You're talking about HBO Max, like
The streaming service.
oh,
like
not the movies. Okay,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what are you talking about? Okay.
Their numbers are really low, so they're banking on, if we release this big top tier, market property on HBO Max, and we say no extra cost, will we get any subs? And I have a feeling a lot of people will just do let's just do the free 7 day trial or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Watch the movie and then get rid of it. But there is a lot of stuff on there. I actually have it. I like it. I was able to. The first thing I did was I binged Game of Thrones, and I know, Rob, you're a huge fan of that.
That's right.
I watched that. They have. There's a lot on there to watch, and then they also have all the Harry Potters. They have all the DC content, and then also they have they're partners with, because it's Time Warner Company. They're partnered with Turner Classic Movies, and so they have quite a bit of classic films on there as well. So that's a big plus for me, because I love watching TCM, and so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it'll give them a nice little boost, but how many people will it sustain? I don't know. I think they need to have this, but then they need to also put more content out there.
Well, I think a similar situation happened with Disney Plus when the Mandalorian released. Like,
yeah, as soon as the series was over,
yeah, they lost a lot of subscriptions, from what I heard. But
yeah, it was a big number.
But like, I guess you're like kind of like what you're saying, that they're kind of banking off of people signing up and stuff like that. So I think that's
their market right now. I think that's their marketing strategy. Their plan is
right.
Just throw this out there. Hopefully we get they're just rolling the dice. Hopefully we get some subscribers, and people will see we have some good content on here, and they'll stay. And,
yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I was just gonna say that too. Maybe they're hoping for a couple of things, because I know there's people out there who are like, oh yeah, let's sign up, and because you got to give them a credit card or some kind of debit card. Let's sign up, and then they're just like, oh, it's too much a hassle to unsign up, so let's just keep it because whatever. But then there are people who are like that.
I've done that.
Yeah, it's funny because I just did that today. I just signed up for Fubo TV. It's like a.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the trial ended, I guess today, and then I got charged. I was looking at the bank statement. I was like, why did I get charged? And then I saw it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
There you go. And then also,
what's funny is that's how I did the Apple Music. They gave me free. 3 free months of Apple Music, and I was like, cool, and I liked it, especially for like my daughter. It has like pretty much everything on there, so like I had all the like little kiddie songs and whatnot, and creating playlists, and by the time it got to the end, I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I just like and then Apple's dumb because they make it so difficult to like try to find where the subscriptions are, to like how you can like unsubscribe to anything. And
no, they're not dumb. They're smart. They're smart. But then,
right? Yeah.
But to go back to what you were saying, Adrian, This might give the opportunity for people who don't know what like never gave HBO Max a shot,
Yeah.
and maybe they'll sign up and be like, oh
Well,
hey,
and
like I didn't know they had all these
I
old
mean,
movies or
they
whatever.
have a ton on there. So
Oh yeah,
basically,
they
they
do.
have all the HBO content. Like you can go all the way back to like Oz,
Yeah.
The Wire,
Band of Brothers.
The Sopranos.
So
Band
you
of
have it,
Brothers.
Rob,
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had it since like day one. I was waiting for it
Okay.
to. I was
Yeah,
waiting for it to come out.
I did the whole like the free, not the free, but they got me with the pre.
Yeah.
If you sign up early, you get access to HBO, and then also they knocked off like $5 a
Yeah.
month on it for a full year. So I was like, cool, I'll just sign up for a full year or whatever. But going through it, there's so much on there. They have all the Studio Ghibli stuff. Ghibli, or I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Yeah, all the like all the Japanese anime with Miyazaki and they have the Sesame Street stuff on there for the children. They have there's a ton on there, and all of the HBO programming, all the DC stuff, and some pretty quality classic TV shows that have been around. And then they just did the Fresh Prince special.
Sounds
I
like
know a lot of
you're,
people watch that, but
Sounds like you're doing an ad right now.
I am an ad. And you know what, guys? Why don't
We're
you
trying.
just sign up?
We're trying to get our first sponsor for everyone who's watching.
Yes.
HBO Max, we got your back.
But you know what? And saying all of this and seeing what HBO has done and what they are doing, do you guys think that for another big property, a superhero property that's been kind of just sitting on the shelf for around the same time, and we just mentioned it briefly, is Black Widow? Do you think Disney will follow suit with that? What do you think they'll do? Do you guys think they'll just kind of hold out, or do you think they're gonna just do the same thing and drop it on Disney Plus?
It's hard, man. It's hard. I feel like it's like there's no end in sight for this pandemic. Well, I'm not for necessarily the pandemic, but no end in sight. There's no for these what do you call it, movie theaters to recover. A lot of them are probably gonna get shut down, and
well, yeah, Regal shut down completely. They shut down all of operations. They're basically saying, we can't sustain under this business model. So, you know what? We're just going to shut down and then ride this thing out and then, see what happens after that, and AMC is just kind of, they've buried into the sand, and they've kind of standing their ground and we're going to do this, and we're going to keep going. But you know what? They're hemorrhaging money, and, I don't see how AMC can sustain doing this, so I don't know.
So, what I was saying is the pandemic. They're already talking about vaccines, so I could see us getting back in track, shortly. But as far as movie theaters, I feel like it's gonna take longer than that. I feel like it's not gonna be until maybe next fall, maybe even late summer when they actually do recover. Because even though when people do get back to normal life, a lot of people are going to be hesitant to go to the movie theaters and not feel safe. So I think, and saying all that, I think it's going to force Disney's hand into releasing Black Widow. And but yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. I don't know, Rob.
Okay. Here's the thing with a lot of other services, you could be you could kind of be maybe we'll just throw it on streaming. Disney's just a whole other beast into themselves. I feel like they could do whatever they want. And I could see them just being nah, we're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold on to Black Widow. I feel like whatever momentum Black Widow had is gone. So yes, we do want to see it, but there's not that hunger to see Black Widow as it was. As it is, I feel like there was very little hunger for it anyway, because everyone kind of knew what happened to her. So it's well, what's going to happen? In this movie, it's this and this, and we know what eventually happens. But with Disney Plus, and this is, I think it would be, for me as a fan, I'm hey, I would be hey, throw it on Disney Plus, and let us watch it that way. since it doesn't look like in the near future that theaters will open up for Disney, at least for Disney's benefit, to release this into a theater. But at the same time, I feel like I don't know if I want to say it's a botch of Mulan, or just all the negative feedback with Mulan, and just that extra cost, and the movie not really being didn't live up to the hype of it, and people just having a lot of negative feedback with that. Maybe they're hesitant to put it on the channel and make people pay.
Yeah.
But it's just Disney's just a whole other thing, because they can do whatever they want, and they really don't need, like, oh well, we need the money, so let's just put it on, or let's just put it out and like get people to watch it.
Yeah, I think of all the studios right now, I think Disney has the most like financial backing and whatnot to kind of hold out for things. But at the same time, I do see them possibly just dropping it and just saying we're gonna drop it. But I don't see them. They're not in the same position as HBO Max. They went far above and beyond what they were expecting as far as subscriptions go for Disney Plus. So they're not hurting for, oh God, we need subs, and we need so let's just drop it on there. One of our biggest properties. I think they may just, if they do drop it, they're going to do another pay thing. But I think what they should do is they should actually release it with all of the, how would you say, like with all the VOD providers like iTunes, like Vudu, like all the other ones that like Google Play, whatever, like all the other ones that sell like these digital films. I would release it there first and say, so that way, because it gives people the peace of mind of knowing, like, okay, I own that film,
right?
We'll pay the $30, we'll own it, because there's something about like having to pay for a service that gives you all. You're paying for that service, and that service provides you all these films, and then you're telling me I have to pay on top of that, and I think that's what left a bad taste in people's mouths. So I think if they had just done that with Milan, where we just said we're going to drop it on iTunes, we're going to drop it on Vudu or whatever, and that's yours to own, okay, and then in 3 months, then it'll be on Disney Plus. So it's up to you. But you don't own it. It's just going to stay on Disney Plus. Like, so if you cancel, you don't own it. Whatever. But I think that is probably a stronger business model, because I think, I think people will be a little bit more comfortable with that and a little less hesitant, a little less like, oh, you guys are double dipping and all that other stuff, So I don't know. But I do see them doing it. I just don't see them doing it like right now. I think they might wait till after the holidays, and then like maybe January, but I think they're gonna look at to like February, March, that time, and then seeing like, okay, what does the pandemic look like at that point, and like to your point, Daniel, like does it look like the theaters will recover, and then they'll make a judgment from there. If it looks like, nah, we're not gonna recover till like December, or then they might just drop it, But we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, that's our rant for COVID and things going on streaming and whatnot. But hey, guys, those of you that are watching, if you have any thoughts on the topics that we just covered, what do you feel about movies being released on VOD or on the streaming channels? Do you have these streaming channels? Does it entice you to, if you don't, get the streaming channel and pay the $14 or $15 or the $7 for Disney Plus to get those and go and watch these films? So why don't you comment down below and let us know what your thoughts are about that. Now, moving on, Rob, we have a bit of a disagreement last night. I saw your post. You said, in the realm of MCU, we're going to stick with that.
Yep.
You said Killmonger was or is the best MCU villain. Now,
You
outrageous.
obviously disagreed with me, and
I disagreed with you.
and your brother Danny both disagreed with me. So next time I see you guys, I'm gonna punch you both.
Yeah. As long as you're wearing your mask, that's okay.
All right, I'll make sure I have my mask on and my gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know Adrian replied to you. I guess he.
I didn't know that you replied to.
Yeah. So, did we both say Thanos? I know I said Thanos. I don't know what you said, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Did you
think
say-
Adrian actually said anyone. He was just like,
I didn't say anybody. I just put ha ha ha.
yeah. Adrian didn't
And
like.
then I put no or
Yeah.
wrong or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you just put wrong. Adrian didn't come with like, oh no, this is the guy, or this,
I didn't give a precise and
Which is-
detailed
yeah.
argument or anything. I just said no.
Yeah,
Wrong.
which is why I respect you more, Danny, because you came in, you're like, hey, no, this guy is the guy. Adrian was just like, no,
But Rob-
I'm gonna argue with you.
But Rob, since you're the one who threw out the outrageous claim, and you need to bring that outrageous evidence and give me a reason why
Okay,
you believe that Killmonger is the best villain
okay, now
in the MCU.
in the
Yes.
MCU. Okay, so let me just say this: I like grounded stories. I like very kind of detailed backstories of characters, and I like some I just like some meat to chew on in all my characters in any movie or any book or whatever. Not that I read too much, but sometimes I listen to books on tape. Now, when I say, obviously, most people are gonna say Thanos is the man, and I think I don't know if I told you, Danny, or you, Adrian. I said, yeah, like Thanos is probably like the baddest like villain, but Killmonger's the best, and this is why. They're very similar, but and when I say, like, let me just start off by saying, like, even though, okay, spoiler, if you've never seen Black Panther, spoiler right now, even though Killmonger dies, he accomplishes to a certain degree what he went to Wakanda to do, and that was to bring the technology that they had there, that the Wakandans were hiding and keeping secret and keeping to themselves. He accomplishes that, in that afterwards when he dies, T'Challa is like, hey, we do need to share our technology and our knowledge with the world. And Killmonger wasn't the right way of going about it, but he had the right idea of sharing the technology. And then when you bring up Thanos, because I'm gonna just bring up Thanos because most people will say Thanos is the best MCU villain. Thanos, everything he does gets erased by the end of Endgame. So all he did was for nothing. Killmonger, he sacrificed himself and his vision of what he wanted. Like I said, to an extent, he wanted to empower, his people to just pretty much overthrow everyone and give them the technology to do it. But it wasn't to that extent. But eventually, they brought the technology out and shared with the world that Wakanda isn't this third world country. It's actually the super technologically advanced, civilization. So that's one way where I'm going to say, like, I think Killmonger is the best MCU villain, because he actually accomplishes and it stays. He actually accomplishes his goal. And another reason is, if you take away the whole, galactical battle scenes of the like Avengers and Endgame and Infinity War, there is story, but it's not like the best story. Where I feel like Killmonger in Black Panther, his story of what happened to him when he was younger, and him going and finding his father, and him building up his resume as far as what he did, joining, this elite task force, and just being this outright just mercenary and assassin and warrior, to get to a point where he's like, I'm this is my goal and I'm going to do it. And I just feel like if it were equal playing fields, I honestly think like if Thanos was a human, or if Killmonger was, you know, a super alien like a Titan like Thanos, I think Killmonger would just demolish Thanos. And you know, probably gonna anger some people that I say that, but it's my opinion and it's true. So there you go, guys.
You're wrong, and here's why. I'm channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith, you know. So disrespectful.
Yeah, go for it.
So go.
I don't know. You sounded like you were gonna say something. That's why I'm like, okay, go for it. I was like waiting. I was like, okay.
I mean, like, I get what you're saying and stuff, but
but you're wrong.
But you're wrong.
So no facts or anything. Just I'm just wrong.
I think we had a change of my mind moment. You know what I mean? Change of my mind.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, like you guys know, like I've told you, and I've said it when we talked about like your favorite MCU movies, and I love Winter Soldier, and Winter Soldier is pretty much, you know, Bucky and Captain America going at it. There's no like, it's not anything like this big spectacular, you know.
Again, to your point
thing.
at the beginning of what you said, it's a little more grounded.
Yeah.
I mean, forget the flying ships that target people.
Oh yeah,
shooting
but
them
I
out
mean,
of the sky.
But hey, we
it's
have
Captain
those.
America. And
we
Bucky.
have those.
Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of extravagance and all of that, and in all of these MCU films. I mean, you can't really have one without it. But I get what you're saying, the whole groundedness. But again, I think that, but you got to ask yourself the question: what is grounded? You know, what is being grounded? I mean, in their own reality, we're talking about comic book films here,
right.
You know, a hidden African culture and world, you know, and super advanced technology. I'm talking about what? What do you mean? What?
Wakanda's not real.
Yeah,
Wakanda's not real.
Yeah. I was like, what is he talking about? How does he not know what I'm talking about? But you know, we're talking about, you know, fantasy here. And so what is grounded? You know, when you look at Thanos, he has a mission, right?
Right.
And he has a reason, because, you know, he believes like if he had acted on this mission, you know, or the people had listened to him, his planet would then be saved. And so to rid the rest of the universe, he set out on this journey. So now when you watch Infinity War, it's basically a Thanos movie.
Right.
And it's you know, you get in depth with his character. He's a bit of a philosopher in some ways. You know, he's got this I would say worldview, but this universal view of how things should be. Now, as twisted and as skewed as it may be, it's to him, it's like it's for the betterment of the universe. And sometimes, to me, that's what makes these villains so much better, is when they're evil, but yet in their mind they believe that they're doing good. You know,
right.
Villains like that are always more interesting and fascinating, and the dialogue and the conversations that he has, it's like it kind of grabs you, and it's just like it's you know, Josh Brolin does an excellent job in delivering that to us, and so it just kind of sticks with you. And then finally at the end, I know what you're saying, like everything he did gets erased. Yeah, obviously we knew that was going to happen because he's the villain, but at the very end of Infinity War, he accomplishes his mission, and he's just like, I'm done. I'm going to go be a farmer now. And just goes and sits and watches the sunset. That is the best ending in all of the MCU films. The way he just sits there with that music playing and just watching the sunset, and then just cut to black. That is the best ending. You know, so for me, like, there's that weight and depth that he just brings to the screen, the conflict of the character saying, like, I'm doing right even though it means I have to sacrifice. And then he has that line at the very end: did you accomplish what you wanted to do by Gamora, the child Gamora? And he was it worth it? What did it cost you? Everything. So even for him, a character that, you know, in some weird warped, twisted way he loved Gamora and still sacrificed her, and then to accomplish his mission. So that's why there's so much depth, and that's why to me he's the best, because there's that depth there, and there's that, that whole thing. Maybe if they given an entire film devoted to Killmonger, they give him a little bit more, then I would say like, yeah, you may be right, but we didn't get that. But here you really see more of Thanos, and more of his character stands out rather than what Killmonger does. But that's the way I see it.
Good, Danny. You have anything to add that's wrong?
I mean, pretty much what Adrian said. I mean, yeah, I mean, he said it all. To be honest, honestly, you guys thought of it more than me. I was just like, Thanos is cooler.
Well, see,
I mean, I in a sense, like I kind of like what Adrian said. Like, you gravitate more with Thanos and stuff, and just like the things he says, and like he's like Adrian said, he's a philosopher and stuff like that. I felt like Killmonger was more like more out for vengeance, I mean, like just like always kind of like angry all the time.
Yeah, it was more of a vengeance. He was on a warpath of like, I'm going to get what's kind of rightfully mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's being denied to my people. And so that's what his whole thing was.
Yeah, and I feel like people, gravitate towards that too. Even like the African American community, they probably feel the same way, with like the whole racial thing and stuff. I mean, I can see why they, like, a lot of people can gravitate towards that story too. But like I said, Thanos, like I said, I connected more with him, because it made more sense, I guess, like, doing things for the greater good of the universe and stuff like that, and kind of what, like, that ending too of Infinity War, like it was like he just like pretty much like he says, just sits and watches the sunset, and you could tell like he just like takes a deep breath and just kind of like in his mind probably thinking like,
it's done. I'm over it.
like,
it's like, I'm cool now. I can just take a vacation.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he set out what he accomplished to what he set out to do and stuff. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
No. I understand like what you guys are saying, and I'm not gonna, like, as far as best characters. Honestly, I think Thanos is probably the best character the MCU's ever come up with, because of all the reasons that you guys say. He's a philosopher, and his outlook on just humanity and the galaxy, and balance and all that stuff. But in saying that, I think that's why I don't really see him as, I mean, he is a villain, but in the same way, I just like, okay, he doesn't have a villain mindset, whereas Killmonger, he is just pure villain. Like, he's like, I'm gonna kill whoever. He even says like, I've killed people, my own people, to get here, to do what I need to do. And yes, Thanos sacrifices Gamora, and you can see, there's no denying that you see Thanos's regret in what he does, whereas Killmonger, there's no regret in what he's doing. He's like, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get to where I need to get. And the difference I see between them, and yeah, in the MCU, they're both bad guys, but I see Thanos as more someone you are like, I sympathize with this guy. I understand what he's trying to do. He may be going about it in the wrong way, but I understand. And in that sense, I maybe don't completely see him as a villain. I don't see him as, an anti-villain or like a Loki type of character. But Killmonger, I just outright see this guy who's like, he's almost evil. I don't think I'm going to call him evil, but he does some stuff. And like I said, he says he does stuff, and there's no one that's going to get in his way. And I feel like Thanos in the movies, and I guess, and, I know, like, obviously they need story to tell, and people got to, pretend to almost beat Thanos. And I feel like Thanos pulls his punches almost because he doesn't want, especially like in Infinity War, when he's talking to like Tony, and he's like, I hope they remember you. And he just you could see he has remorse for Tony, and he doesn't want to kill him. And it eventually takes Strange to like, hey, leave him and I'll give you this. Whereas Killmonger just would have been like, nope, you're dying. So that's why I feel like Killmonger is the best villain. Thanos, I will say, is the best character, but Killmonger, the best villain.
Well, I think what makes the best villains are the ones that you can, sympathize with, that you could understand, and they're not just two-dimensional or like one-dimensional. I mean, they have like certain layers to their character.
Yeah,
and I think that makes the best villain, because like you understand their conflict, and with whatever they're going through, or whatever the story may the writers want to tell and stuff. Whereas villains are just pure evil, or just like they're very one dimensional, and it's just and you just they're just they just have they just
I don't think anybody's changed anybody's mind.
So no. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
I mean, like you did make me think different of Killmonger a little bit. I mean, like what you're saying. But like, because when I saw the movie, all I saw was just an angry boy,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
like I
that's
said,
and
set
that's
up
his,
for
and that's
vengeance,
his, and that's his
to get what
arc.
he deserved,
That's his arc
or what he deserved.
of you see it as him as a little child in Oakland, where he comes to realize, like, after his father is killed by his uncle, which is T'Challa's father, like he realizes he obviously seen something, and now that started him on his path. And there's the parallels between the characters of T'Challa and Killmonger. It's like one had to grow up in like the ghetto and had to fight and claw to get every little scrap that he had, and then here's like this basically a prince, son of the king, kind of just be raised up in royalty and never had to deal with any of that. And I think that's the whole point of the story itself and the characters, that here is a people that are suffering and struggling, and you're doing nothing and have done nothing about it, and I'm going to do something about it. And I think that's your point, Rob, is that he basically, by any means necessary, was going to do whatever it took to accomplish that and to bring his people into power. And so, like, it didn't matter, even like what his own girlfriend was killed, right?
Yeah, he killed his own girlfriend.
Yeah, and he kills Ulysses Claw, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he kills him, which I really enjoyed. Andy Serkis's character there. He was enjoyable, but yeah, I think that's his story, and that's what his arc is that it's about getting what is due, and really like that kind of like that vengeance and almost and that justice. Wanting that justice, but there are ways to go about it, and the way he went about it was wrong, because it was basically, justice for my people, and I'm going to kill anybody that stands in the way.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a selfish thing in a way, selfish act.
So I mean, it's not a bad choice, and actually, I would probably put Killmonger like in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, because you always have like Hela. Hela's a good one. She has some good story too.
Hela, I really enjoyed. It's the very first, but I really enjoyed Obadiah Stane by Jeff Bridges, because again, when Rob, you were talking about grounded stories, this one is basically like
it starts at the ground.
Wealthy corporations and corrupt corporations, and Obadiah Stane, again, it's always about power and trying to keep and obtain and wield that power, and so he's using that. And so it's like kind of like seeing it in the corporate world, like that villainy, and so that's what makes his character a bit interesting. And again, Jeff Bridges does an excellent job of in his performance, and so it makes his character more interesting as well. So I'd put him up there and probably like the top 5 there as well. So we can agree to disagree, but
no, I mean, I at no point
Yeah.
if you guys tell me Thanos is the best, I'm gonna, I have my own opinion, obviously, but I won't say you're wrong because Thanos is up there for me. Thanos is number 2, and if someone's gonna put him number 1, say you're not wrong, but this is just my opinion, and so.
Well, that's where we differ because I will tell you that you were wrong.
And on our Instagram page, it was.
Oh yeah, we posted on our Instagram page for those of you watching at home.
It was pretty much like all Thanos except for you, Rob. You did he did reply.
He commented on the own page.
Yeah.
See,
so
but
did Killmonger.
Had to show Killmonger
and the
some
thing
love.
is that Thanos is almost kind of the easy pick because, and then also people tend to have short memories.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the thing that they most remember and gravitate towards, especially because he was so strong. But there's some good. I mean Loki, but a lot of times at this point people don't even really feel Loki as a villain. Yeah. He's just kind of a guy that plays both sides.
Yeah, I was never Loki kind of guy. I didn't.
But
I can never.
Anyway,
him.
Hey guys, why don't you comment down below and let us know what you think and who is your all-time favorite MCU villain, and and we'll respond and get the debate going.
Killmonger.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Talk, and why don't you click like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews,
and remember, we'll catch you on the fence.